And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. Vlogcast that comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. Vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect because screw you the last 4 years. For a number of reasons, but not the least of which is just stuff that we'll end up talking about very likely because. And part of this is to follow through with the old adage that sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. I'm your main host. I'm Shujin Tribble. You can find me pretty much everywhere under that name. That's Shujin. Back with you. Yes, I do still have the Santa Pimp hat out. Yes, I did kind of start a hashtag Santa Pimp hat. Not that anybody's really paying attention to that, but that's a whole other thing. I'll explain in a couple moments. From the Midwest of the U.S., look who made it tonight. Brigid Fitch. Hi.
Hi. It's not even snowing. It's
No.
9 degrees and rainy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of doing the same things over here in the Buffalo market. It has been exceptionally too warm. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to not have to worry about driving sideways down the hill that I live on. But at the same time, it's also kind of not exactly burr, shall we say?
Very fallish
Yeah,
weather.
yeah. So, yeah. Then again, I mean, it is still only December. We've got January coming. For
Yeah,
what
but
that's
usually it's
worth.
colder in December than
Yeah,
what it has been.
yeah. I know. It's one of those things, of course, because I mean, but anybody wants to pay attention to that, we'll end up hitting that, I'm sure. So, anyway, hi. Good to be back with you. As always, let me go ahead and remind you that if you would like to be joining us, you can do that on YouTube, just not for a couple of weeks, because this is going to be the last show of the year. 2023 is going into the bin because, well, the next weeks are going to be Christmas and New Year's and all that happy horseshit, and I've gotta see what's going to be end up happening on the weekends because I'm going to be doing computer work on my stuff. It shouldn't really affect me because in order to do this show, I have to boot into Windows. I have to play with the Linux side of my computer systems, so it shouldn't really be a problem. I hope, but we'll see what it is. But anyway, you can join us, like I said, as always, over on the live chat. You can join us over there. Stephanie made it. Good morning. Phyllis, you made it. Good evening. Nice to see you guys. And we'll kind of see where it is. And Mooncheeks has showed up over there. Good evening to you too. Trying to refresh it 1,001 times. Yeah, I will have a little bit more success keeping the stream running here than I do during Friday night show. Apparently, there's a whole thing to that. But it's good to be back with you. So, I have gotten out my Oktoberfest glass because, you know, it seems right. I actually bought an honest to God, actual, genuine Coke 2-liter bottle for the first time in an exceptionally long time. Because I'm usually very much just all right, I'm just going to get I'm getting a sandwich. So all right, I'll get the the plastic bottle of Coke Zero because and every once in a while I have one of those, but an actual honest to God like 2-liter bottle of Coke in my house is like never happens. So there's that. I've sipped off of it, and there's a reason because if memory serves, weren't you guys saying that this week I should be having the Crown Royal with Coke?
Sure.
Because the other
Pretty
one,
bottle.
sorry,
It's a pretty bottle.
it is. It is. It's cute. It's plastic. It's not glass, of course. And I mean, here is a human hand for comparison because I don't have the fruit known as a banana because I do not like bananas. Read into that whatever you will. And it's cute. which, by the way, I don't know that I ever posted the picture to the HCTV group, but a couple weeks ago, I sent a buttload of those Royal Crown bags, and to my sister in crime, Cheska. Couple of shows back, I showed the D20 that I bought for her that arrived here and sent off to her. The one that says the 20 and the 1 had been changed out for FU and F me. So I showed that on the stream, and I showed that I was not touching it. 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 And I sent it to her in the box, which was wrapped in a Crown Royal bag, which was wrapped in a Crown Royal bag, which was wrapped in a crown. I forget how many of them it was. I think it was like 7 layers deep. I forget. But she got it. She unwrapped it. She's just like, the hell is wrong with you? You know what? It's fine. It's all good. But so yeah. So I've never tried. I don't know. I by the way found out that there are liter bottles of Crown Royal. Don't know why, but I mean, then again, I'm not exactly a Crown Royal drinker. I think. I don't know. I've never tried it before. But I mean, sure. You know what? You do you. It's perfectly fun. So there's going to be that. So let's open it up and find out what happens. I wonder if it's going to smell like paint stripper this time again. Let's see. No, or at least not nearly as bad. Not like the Jameson. Imagine that. Okay, so I'll take a little sip off of this first, just to kind of get a across the tongue. That's not nearly as bad as Jameson. And yeah, yeah. The Jameson. Remember, I said paint stripper. No, no. This is very much not doing that. This is if this is what they start to call like smooth. Okay, you know what? I kind of get that. So keeping in mind, doing it all legit on the thing. Yes, there's a lot of cola by comparison. Yes, I'm gonna give it some time to, you know, percolate's not the right word for it, but I did have coffee, so there is that, and I'll give it some time to move around a little bit. We'll see what happens. And now I have another little bottle that's empty. It's cute. I don't know. Maybe I'll find something to do with these one of these days. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's see what was going over here. Oh yes. So for those of you that are reading the chat, yeah, I talked to my boss earlier today, and yes, I will be getting a raise, which is the first time that I've can remember having gotten a raise in an exceptionally long time, and almost not a full dollar up, but I think it's fair to say that it's a pretty good it's a pretty good amount. Not as much as I'd like. I'd like the full dollar, but you know what? Only so much we can do. And yes, that's dollar per hour. So I'm still doing okay. I normally I have asked to work 9-hour shifts instead of 8, and my boss has agreed to that, which is no big thing. And because in the winter, in the summer, as far as they're concerned, the department that I work in, yeah, overtime during the summer when things are like going nuts, yeah, all the money in the world. Coming up into the winter, maybe not so much. So we'll see how that works out. But I mean, I'm hoping and expecting things are going to work. So that's going to work. So yeah, there's going to be a thing. And Mooncheeks is saying, I now have a Royal Crown bag, so there. You know what? Good on you. It's fine. You don't have 7. All in different colors. So I did nice by my sister in crime. Cheska's good people. I miss her. We have never actually physically met, and yet we are. I mean, we're good people to each other, so it's always good. Um, and the only other thing that I want to mention about is that they fed us Friday, and my boss was one of the ones that was involved with deciding who was going to be catering it. So we had stuff from the barbecue place just a couple miles up the road from where we are. Um, there's a lot of leftovers of brisket and pulled pork. There is a lot of leftover, and I brought a lot of leftover. So I'm thinking tomorrow night we're gonna have pulled pork barbecue spaghetti. So that's gonna be fun. So yay. Um, I will ask, knowing where some of the answer is, by the way, for you, because we talked before the show. Because of course we did. There anything you wanna talk about before we get rolling?
No,
I kind of
but
figured that would be the thing, but
I sure would love to have some pulled pork. That sounds good.
yeah, yeah, it's it's pretty good. The downside of the whole damn thing is there were no Texas Twinkies for me to have, which kind of upset me a little bit. They're what they call Texas Twinkies are basically stuffed jalapeno peppers. I don't remember if they are wrapped in bacon, they're stuffed with bacon and cheese, or whatever the hell, whatever. I've been there a couple of times. I still have yet to get some. And one of these days, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to get some because some. I want to get some. One of these days. Um, oh, right. So, want to go ahead and congratulate Mooncheeks because got green card. So, congratulations. Took long enough. God, the process that goes through is absolutely exceptional. So, good on you. Congratulations. We're happy for you. Um, was there anything? Oh, yes, there is one last thing. For those of you that are just listening to the show, which the show does come out as a podcast every once in a while, whenever Dalan gets around to it, because we work completely on, no money. So Dalan gets around to it when he gets around to it. So, yeah. But those of you that are watching, you know full well that I am still sporting the Santa Pimp hat, which by the time we come back from the break, it'll go back into storage. But every year I pull this thing out right after Thanksgiving, U.S. Thanksgiving, and I wear it through the end of December because everybody's got their floppy sleep cap, the red hat with the white poof on the end of the whole thing. And I saw this hat and I'm just like, nah, man, this is my Christmas hat, and I keep track every year of how many compliments I. Well, over at the shop, we have little hand clickers so you can keep track of how many items you click with your thumb as you do things. And we have a couple of spare ones over there, so I commandeered one. I am over 115 compliments on the hat and or the jacket because there are times where the wind has just been too hot and heavy, and this hat will come off with enough wind. Ask me how I know that. Many times. I don't like chasing after my hat. It's embarrassing. But over 115, still counting. I would love one of these days to actually do like a well, if BlueSky ever gets off their asses and uses hashtags, I would love to do a have you seen the hashtag Santa Pimp hat this week, and get selfies with people and do the thing. Only because I think it would be fun as hell. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
it
liable to
would.
happen. It would be, but I don't think it's liable to have happen. So a little sip, and we'll see how the drink is. Then we'll see about jumping into everything. Oh, well, the smell was okay. Um, yeah, I smell the Royal Crown in there. It weird. It's almost like got a bitter taste in there for me. I don't know. That's weird. I was not expecting that. I don't know if it's. I don't know. That's just weird. But you know what? It's just a little bit of alcohol. It's a lot of Coke, which is fine by me. As long as I don't have to inhale it through my nose, I'm fine. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, I can definitely taste it in there. I don't have an alcohol burn, so it's just a taste. So I don't know that I necessarily would choose that again for myself, but you know what? As always, with all the beers that I've tried, I don't know that I would necessarily pick it again. But it's not an orange creamsicle beer. Just I'm you know yeah orange
For the
cream.
pineapple beer.
Oh my god, I would do. Oh, yeah, yeah. That was just. Oh man, I don't ever see now. Now you're reminding me how you do the industrial fake pineapple taste and expect anybody to like that. I don't get in anything. No, just no, I don't get it. But you know what? That's on them. So they're selling product. You know what? Good on you there. Maybe that's a good way to cure alcoholism. Make sure that people just don't want to drink the products anymore. I mean, it could work. Aversion therapy works. Cured a whole bunch of people left-handedness, but I digress. How about I get everything rolling, and we'll see what pieces we're going to sum up for the year, or minimally from like the last week or so, because holy crap, has there been a lot of stuff that's just happened in the last week, and I'm so glad that I didn't try to like nail down any particular topic because oh, there's just so much. So I'll get things rolling over here, and we'll kind of go from here. So with 5 minutes on the clock, your 5 minutes starts now, and I'm labeling this one arrogance. Now, once upon a time ago, I did actually do a thing on hubris, but this is kind of a different thing. Arrogance in this case has got everything to do with the fact that there are people, dare I say, who have decided that rules don't apply to them. Now, it could be an individual, it could be individuals, multiple, it could be a singular group, it could be multiple, but there are people who think that simply the rules don't apply to them. And because of that, they will do whatever it is that they want to do because they want to do it. Because who's going to stop me? Well, therein lies the problem, now, doesn't it? Because there aren't groups stopping them. The point of a rule is that if you transgress the rule, you get punished for it one way or another. And if that doesn't happen, well, that's just a breeding ground for more. Brigid and I have talked on many an occasion, well, the entire crew, we've talked on many occasions, that you can breed superbugs in agar. And we've linked to the video on multiple occasions where they in a laboratory they set out an agar table. And for those of you that don't know, agar is basically, look at it this way: if you took jello packets and you put it into warm water, swirl it around, and then let it start to set, and had like sugar in there or whatever. That's a really bad way of describing it, but effectively that's what you're kind of talking about. It's a breeding ground for, well, bugs, bacteria especially. And the idea is that what they've done in the labs is they have set up these agars so that they have certain amounts of antibacterial drugs in them. And the first section is, doesn't have any. The next section has, the usual dosage. The next section has 10 times the dosage, and the next section has 100 times the dosage. And if memory serves, after incubation, it takes 14 days for some bacteria, I forget even which one it was. It could have been E. coli, I don't even remember which one it was. It doesn't really much matter. To breach all the way through over 100 times the dosage that would be necessary to have otherwise killed bacteria. Let's just remind you that at 10 times, you're looking at serious bodily harm to a human, or any other living organism. 1,000? Nah, man, you might as well just put a bullet in somebody's head at that point, because you're effectively doing it anyway. But if you have this breeding ground where there are no rules enforced, not that there aren't any rules, but they're not enforced, what's the point? Because then they'll just become more aggressive. They will be more, well, why are you stopping me when you didn't stop me before? We see this in copyright law. If somebody is breaching your copyright, your intellectual property, your whatever, and you don't come down hard and heavy on someone as soon as you find out about it, well, you got no leg to stand on later. So for all of you groups that say you want to stand up for the rule of law, you want to abide by fair play, you want things to work on an equal level playing field, you have to make that field level. It means anytime there's an aberration, you need to punch it down. Yes, everybody needs to be brought up to the same level, but god damn it, you need to punch down the ones that are absolutely abusing those systems. Otherwise, what the hell is the point of even having the first? So with that out of the way, I think we get to have a little bit of fun with the horrible scopes. And wow, this is gonna be a lot of fun. You ready on this?
Ready.
So, as always, for those of you that know what your astrological sign is, cool. For those of you that don't, it really won't make much of a difference. Go ahead and buy your D12 and roll that for initiative, or the squiggly character model thing. I don't even remember what they're called. It doesn't really matter. The symbols. If you need one of those D12s, take a swing over to the nice folks over there at Heart of the Game Fredonia. They got a mimic in the window outside. It's kind of hard to miss it. Trust me, I took a selfie with it, and I live to tell the tale. I promise you, I'm actually me and not the mimic, which is exactly what the mimic would say. Whatever, you know what? It's all good. Heart of the Game Fredonia, thank you guys for not suing us into oblivion for mentioning you. Hail, hail, Fredonia, home of the Blue Devil. Now, on a suggestion this week, since we're publishing this one, this will go onto all the social medias. During Christmas week, we're going to take the time to enjoy various sweets and treats from the holiday season. But see, of course, as always, there's a catch. You could get something awful, too. So get ready for more powdered sugar, alcohol, and mayonnaise than you would ever believe could be used in December. And just so you know, there are a number of runners-up in this randomized collection that I used. So, in alphabetical order, your randomized runners-up in this week include... I'm going to see if I can do this all in one breath this time, because I failed it last night. Chocolate-covered cherry cordial, cinnamon coffee cake, couscous paulista, double nut baklava, eggnog, fig and almond cookies, fruitcake, Italian rainbow cookie. I'm going to stop right there because I'm pissed off that that one didn't make the cut. But you know what? Whatever. Japanese Christmas cake, Linzer tarts, old-fashioned hard candies shaped like fruits, peanut butter kiss cookies, Peeps, reindeer corn, rum balls, and of course, Bûche de Noël. I don't care. I know it's Italian. It's French. I don't speak French. Whatever. Otherwise known as Yule roll cake. I'm really upset that I didn't get to some of those, but you know what? It is what it is. It was a randomized grouping. It is what it is. Aries, never has there been an Italian confectionery that's divided a people so much as this. Your treat this week is panettone, the Italian Christmas cake. Mass-produced and shipped in cardboard cases that almost require taking a knife to, these are less cake than they are an unholy cross between bread and cupcake. Don't try to finish one off by yourself unless you're planning on taking the rest of the month off.
Taurus, see this little man? This is George, a gingerbread man cookie. He lives in his own gingerbread house. He sits down in his gingerbread chair and screams in pain. He has no knees, so his legs just snapped. He realizes he lives in a house made of his own flesh, so he tries to scream. But he can't, for he has no lungs. So this week, have fun trying to get to sleep with that mental imagery, refusing to leave.
I had some questions about my sanity on that one. I don't know what to tell you. That's what the stars tell me to write. So, is what it is. Blame them. I don't care. Gemini, the best part of your treat is how utterly fun it is to watch someone else make it. Your treat is cracker toffee, and we're pretty sure B. Dylan Hollis has made this at some point. And even if he hasn't, you should make some for yourself anyway. This week, do exactly that. Oh, and make sure you have a dental appointment set up before the end of next month.
Cancer Moonchild. We're just going to tell you now, you're not going to like this one.
May I interrupt for just a second?
Uh-huh.
Stephanie, pay close attention to this.
No one would want this one. The video game retailer Game in the UK sells something called Christmas Dinner every year. It's a full Christmas dinner in a can. In order, the layers are scrambled eggs and bacon, 2 mince pies, turkey and potatoes, gravy, bread sauce, cranberry sauce, Brussels sprouts or broccoli with stuffing, roast carrots and parsnips, and finally, Christmas pudding. This week, start a new tabletop RPG game. You just rolled the worst nat 1, and you can't do worse than this.
And all that for £2 sterling. Yeah, I know. I know. Trust me. I know because I had to do the research on this, and if my research is to be believed, it's currently sold out. Good. Leo, marzipan. No, really, that's all we've got to say to you about this one. Your treat is marzipan. Something that sounds like the name of a magical weapon needed to kill the big bad evil guy in a swords and sorcery movie series. This week, go learn how to make marzipan yourself. if that even is its real name. And let us know how badly you screwed it up next week. Okay? Oh, right. We're not going to be here next week. So,
You have to tell us later. Virgo, Italian honey balls, or struvoli, make you realize Italians had beekeepers. It's like tiny donut holes are fried, covered in honey, and stuck together into a pull-apart collections of warm and tasty. This week, don't bother trying to make them yourself. You'll only screw it up. Go find a local Italian bakery and see if they'll make some for you. It'll be money well spent.
oh, it will be. It really will be. I miss that. Libra, for your treat, we're importing food, oh god, from southern Africa. Shit, I get this one. Mopane worms. It's the caterpillar of the emperor moth, harvested around Christmas, but they're eaten throughout the year. The yellow flesh has been described as tasting just like salty potato chips or a mix of leaves, earth, and salt. So this week, we really hope you haven't lost a bet with anyone recently.
Yum.
Sure, yeah, why not?
Scorpio, just like that, winter weather is here. Cold wind blows, the furnace kicks on, and everything in your house gets dry as hell. You need to drink more water, dine on more soup, and plan for the worst. Your treats are dried fruit. Yes, they can last for a long, long time unopened, and you can chip a tooth on them if you're not careful. But how about some science and research while you're stuck at home in the snowstorm? This week, find out how to rehydrate your treats without the whole thing becoming a recreation of the very first Batman movie.
There's a very interesting subset of people that actually understand that. And if you're one of those people that doesn't, go ahead. Go watch the first Batman movie. The best Batman movie. Because Burt Ward and Adam West still had it. Sagittarius, the only way to get this cursed idea out of our heads is to finish the trifecta of oranges in your stockings. So this week, you're getting chocolate oranges made with orange chocolate. Or which way she should say it, it doesn't really much matter, because the only part that matters is the connecting post at the center. Whack that sucker on a countertop and enjoy the stick of deliciousness in front of everyone else. Oh, by the way, you are the only one on this list that got a guaranteed good listing. So, we good now?
Capricorn, there's almost always a fight when these are baked at home, but there doesn't have to be. Your treats are Christmas tree brownies, and since you need to use the cookie cutout to make them, no one gets the crispy edges of the brownies. So this week, find one of those all corners brownie baking pans and make your own.
Those are fun. It's all upset, so screw them. Aquarius, we don't know where they came from. You don't know where they came from. Your cousins, aunts, and uncles don't know where they came from. But someone in your family with the title of grand something keeps getting Italian ribbon candy. No one eats it, but it always shows up year after year, and we're pretty convinced it's not made of sugar, but glass instead. This week, sneak one out of Nona's house and try to see if it dissolves in hot water.
Pisces, your treat has some things going for it, but not a lot. Sure, it's vegetarian, but before it's served up, it's called a pud. almonds, apple, candied peel, 1 whole nutmeg. Seriously, what the holy hell even is this? And get this, only 2 tablespoons of cognac for the product, but you'll need a little more to light it on fire as you serve it. Your treat is Christmas pudding. We know how you are with booze and open flame. So this week, get your ass to Lowe's and get a new set of ABC fire extinguishers.
Don't trust me. Those are your horrible scopes for this week. Remember, if you like what you got, I don't really much care because somebody suggested it and that's where my research took me, so there you go. That's the way it's going to work. As always, I will have these posted at the end of the week. Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, BlueSky. Yeah, we've got a couple of BlueSky invites for those of you that need them, especially for anyone that's got a fella in need. So just keep that in mind. And if you'd like to influence how these go, you know, you can always make a suggestion. Who knows? The worst that can happen is I say no. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that says no. This episode 477 on the docket, Your Honor. Going out with a bang. Cause just cause. It's going to be the end of the year. We got the next 2 weeks off because scheduling. You know, every 7 years or so, this ends up happening. So we're gonna kind of recap some of the things that we remember, give or take from the last year. Could be from a little bit outside of it. It could be from this last week because, like I said earlier, this has been an eventful week, to put it mildly. So how about we start off with both a big ol' FU and a big ol' thank you for the nice folks over there that sued the bejesus out of Drippy Head himself, Rudy Giuliani, who is slated to be on the hook for, how much was it? Like $150 million?
It was like 148 million and some change.
150 million. We'll just round it up because, I mean, rounding errors, man. It's all good. Because he deserves every penny ripped. Somebody, I saw a thing on, I forget which social media it was. Somebody had said, take everything from Rudy, give him a sleeping bag, and that's it. Just nice and simple. Take everything from him. Have him live, you know, nowhere.
He hasn't even gone to court yet about Smartmatic or any of that.
Oh, that is so. You know what? All right, we'll go tangentially with that. I think it's really funny how so many of the YouTube news guys that we kind of listen to and check in on and whatnot have been pointing out very, very often how many times Fox News has been very, very careful towing that line so that they don't get sued for another $750 million again. I know full well you've got to have heard some of these. Brian Taylor,
yep,
saying and whatnot. Some of the other groups, I forget which. Midas Touch, especially, every once in a while pops up on my YouTube list, and it's like, yeah, so let's tell you what's happening over there at Fox News and show you the about face that they've done on so much of the stuff. And it's like, you know, I'm kind of running out of colon cleaner for all this popcorn that I'm eating, guys. I mean, take it easy on me here. So, I'm having fun with that. Oh, God. Oh, Mooncheeks, don't worry about it. We're getting there. We're getting there. You're leading the bit over here just a little bit. Mooncheeks is over here, over in the chat. I went into a rant about pregnancy and childbirth and sex ed. Yeah, yeah, we know. I know. Don't worry, we're getting there because there's a thing that's gonna like involve Texas and Ireland. I think it was Ireland. Pretty sure it was Ireland. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there, piece at a time. Little steps. You know, little kitty paw steps. You know how that works. So yeah, Rudy Giuliani, and by extension, Sidney Powell. I don't know about you, Brigid, but I'm getting really goddamn sick and tired of these people. Going into court, attesting and affirming and pleading to the court. Yes, I'm pleading guilty to these things that you guys have found me guilty of, and I'm sorry, and I'm the whole thing. Thank you for commuting my sentence down a little bit, and then coming out of the courtroom, getting in front of all the cameras. Everything I said was bullshit. They railroaded me. I was doing it just so that I could get out of the whole damn thing, and the whole thing is, I know exactly what I'm still talking about because we're gonna prove it. The whole thing, and it's like, haul these people by their neck back into court, sit them down, and revoke whatever plea agreements. As far as I'm concerned, just slap them in jail. Just be done with it.
I agree.
I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about with the opening, man. Just get these people, haul them the hell in, grab them by the ear, sit them down. Mommy and daddy are very unhappy with you, and here's what we're gonna do. At this point, I'm not above saying, let's just get a cricket bat and find out how many whacks it takes to break it. I mean, I know that would be wrong, and it's not the thing that we do, because, I mean, this isn't Singapore. But, and that's a reference from the 90s, by the way. Some people might remember that one from You're My People. But I'm sorry. Something needs to be done. Once and for all, there needs to be actual serious accountability. And the two of them, I'm just going to, just fuck them entirely. But here's the question I got for you, Bridge. Should I be railing on Sydney and Rudy, or should I instead be railing on the prosecutors' offices for not hauling their asses back in and revoking whatever agreements that they've gone to based on this?
I don't know if they can do anything about that legally. I don't know.
And if there's one thing that we've learned, you don't take legal advice from a podcast, least of all this one. We don't know jack shit about law a lot of times.
We just know what we would like to happen.
Damn straight. But it's just, you know what? This is what's all right. So yeah, all right. We tapped on that. That's fine. You know what? We tapped on the glass on them. That's perfectly fine. So let's do this. Since the genie is out of the bag on this whole thing with Texas, let's jump over. We mentioned about it last week briefly, but I think we mentioned it last week. I don't remember if we did or if we didn't. I'm pretty sure that we did. That poor woman went to the court and said, "Look, I need to have an abortion because the fetus that is growing in me has a genetic problem, and upon birth will die within God, I forgot what the name of the do you remember what the genetic condition was called?
Me 18.
And according to all the reports that I was reading up on them, the child, if born, would last less than a week. And that's putting it generously. and had to go to the court to say, look, yeah, it's outside of the law's time frame, but I would like to get a pass on this because testing done, genetic testing done, doc says bad idea. And if we go through this, I could die, and I might lose fertility, and what other possibilities might happen with her other than the fact of having to carry the trauma of knowing carrying a fetus to term because forced to because chattel that is just going to last long enough to like breathe a couple dozen times.
And she'd already been in and out of the emergency room
That's right.
for complications
That's right.
several times.
I forgot about that part. So she went to the courts. I forget which level of the court went ahead and said, you know what, that's good enough for us. Go ahead and allow you to go ahead and get an abortion. And then the upper top level, I think, court of Texas went ahead and said, wait a minute, not so fast. No. So, that court basically, now, memory serves, wasn't that an all-male court?
Yep.
Three judge panel, right?
That I don't know.
You know what? I don't remember either, and I think
And
I'm
I know
right.
one of them had been arrested several times for blocking abortion clinics in the past.
Oh yeah, so no bias here whatsoever. But yeah. What we found out though from her lawyer was that she was leaving the state to an undisclosed location in order to have an abortion done. And there were a number of videos that went up that made its way over to me in various areas that said, do you see this person? This is, and I forget what her name is off the top of my head, and I don't think it's really even worth bringing that up at the moment. You see this woman here in this video? This is she's the woman in Texas who couldn't get an abortion because men said no. So if you happen to see this woman outside of Texas, no, you fucking didn't. You know what? I'm on board. Absolutely 100% on board. Do everything to protect the hell out of this. Because, well, Brigid, we are not lawyers. No. But I am one of those people that really wants to know how in the hell anyone could justify over there in Texas prosecuting her if she returns from out of state, having had an abortion out of state, and charging her for having an abortion. You heard about that particular possibility too, right?
Yep.
And you remember a couple years ago, people were saying, well, this whole thing with Roe versus Wade, we're just shuttling it back down to the individual states so that they can handle it themselves. And it's just being an absolute shit show. Dude, I don't think that I don't think I'm overstating it in any way on that end.
Nope.
So, what have you got to say on this one? Because I know full well that you're gonna have something, because we've talked too damn many times about similar cases, and when we get to it, we're gonna have to touch on Ireland also because of this.
Well, I think we need to talk about Brittany Watts too. She's the woman in Ohio that
Oh,
had a miscarriage at 22 weeks.
yep.
and her water had broken prematurely, and she knew that it was a non-viable pregnancy, and doctors had told her so, but she couldn't get care, and they're charging her with a felony for desecration of a corpse.
Yep.
Because she went to the bathroom and miscarried, and then tried to plunge it. But what else was she supposed to do with it?
Yeah. And honest and truly, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, the law of desecration of a corpse, I have a real hard time squaring that circle in my head. Because, yes, you can do things to a corpse that would generally speaking be considered wrong. And I'm using very, very broad terms. But there's also the whole thing of that it's a corpse. And forgive me for being graphic here for like all of 5 seconds. And if you don't want to hear like graphic on this one, I will put my hand up and count off the 5 seconds so that you know what to mute out or not to. So for those of you that have got, you know what, I'll make it 10 seconds because some people have got their podcast things and they like fast forward 10 seconds at a time. So I'll do it that way. And on YouTube, you can also do it that way. So here's where it comes down. So you get the idea. And I can't believe I'm gonna go ahead and say this. So here we go. So countdown of 3, 2, 1. If you went to the store and you bought yourself a chicken for, consumption afterwards, but you decided that you were going to use it as a masturbation device and ejaculate inside of it, is that really going to fall afoul of that law? There's the question. Now, I know there's going to be some people right now that are just going to be like, ew, why would you even think that? But I mean, they've used exactly that for other things. I know full well that they've used that on someone who was hunting deer. So you can kind of figure where that one's going. If it's dead, there's a certain point in me that's just like, is that really the best that you could do? It's a woman that just went through something horrific and horrible and has a less than optimal support network. And what the hell? So, yeah. So she's currently she's currently being held, if I remember right, pending the outcome of this particular trial, right?
Yep.
I sure as shit hope that there is some lawyer or other that's just gone ahead and picked this one up and just said, you know what, we got you on this one. But I don't know.
What was she supposed to do? Pull the pieces out of the toilet?
Yeah. And it
just big bloody goopy mess.
Yeah. And how many weeks along was she?
She was like 21 weeks and a few days.
So yeah, it's something that you can see with the naked eye. But I mean, at the same time, it's just it is not wrong for me to say. And I'm gonna remind everybody, I'm a guy. All right? It's not wrong for me to say miscarriages happen. And
all the time.
Yeah. And I say that from the standpoint of it happened twice to us. You know? It happens sometimes. And sometimes it's just no fault of your own. It happens. Once in a while, it's just, you know what? No, not good enough. Let's try again later. So the idea that, basic bodily autonomy is under attack this way, very specifically in a very specific fashion, bothers me to no end. And again, reminding you, I'm a guy. I don't even know. I don't even know where to even begin unraveling that whole collection of that. I should have marked this as not safe for work episode because I'm about to use all the Fs. I don't even know how to unravel this collection of fuck. That's the only way I can really describe it. How do we? Where do we? Do we? Can we? I don't even know. And then, like I said, again, coming back to Texas, when she goes back, assuming that she goes back to Texas, is she going to be prosecuted for having had a medical procedure done in a state where it's legal and then goes back?
I mean, she could be, but I don't see how that works. I mean, if I was to go to Illinois and smoke weed, then, Indiana can't prosecute me for that.
But
As
there's
long as I don't bring it back across the state line,
Yeah, but apparently there are some states where that's exactly the kind of thing that could happen, which, again, bothers the hell out of me to no end.
Are they going to start arresting everybody that goes to Vegas to gamble because gambling isn't legal in their state?
Prostitution is an even better one for you. In most states, I think pretty much every state here in the U.S., you're allowed to participate in bingo or Mega Millions or whatever lotto, off track betting. I don't know that OTB still exists, whatever the case may be. So there is some level of legal gambling in much all of the states here in the U.S. in some fashion. I mean, you think about what bingo is. It's lottery. It's gambling. But at a casino, yeah, it's very much an organized gambling system, sanctioned, regulated. And there's some areas out there Las Vegas way where prostitution's still legal and has been for a very long time. I'm thinking of the Bunny Ranch. Actually, come to think of it, does the Bunny Ranch still? I'm pretty sure the Bunny Ranch still exists, or at least it did a couple of years ago. Last time I actually did any kind of checking on that. Yes, I actually did research on that once upon a time ago. Shut up. Not for any reason, because I ain't been west of the Mississippi River in a very long time. Yeah, and never been that south. So, well, I mean, I've never been in the Southwest. Been there, so boy, howdy. I don't even know. And you're right. You go to an area and you participate in something that is legal. Amsterdam, red light district, same thing. Prostitution's legal, regulated, taken care of. There are some areas of the world where different drugs are recreational chemicals are perfectly acceptable. That's why over here in the United States, this whole thing about which state allows the use of marijuana versus not is an interesting thing, because they say they want to have states' rights to regulate a whole bunch of these things, like abortion. But when it comes to the states' rights of regulating marijuana, oh no, that's a federal thing. Again, really? Sit on one side of the fence or the other, man. Straddling the whole damn thing, no. Now, I don't remember what her name was off the top of my head, but we talked about her several times before. Young lady that was in, if memory serves, in Ireland. She had a non-viable pregnancy. And she was trying to get an abortion at the time. And the Irish government would not allow it. And then, and Brigid, you remember the story I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the Irish government was refusing her ability to travel outside of the country because they were afraid that she was going to have an abortion outside of Ireland. I don't want to say it as, do you want to, but I'm going to say it this way. Would you mind filling in the rest of that story?
Well, she was 14 weeks pregnant. She was a doctor. She knew that she was losing the fetus and that she was going septic. She knew she was dying. And they would not help her. And she was 31 years old.
There was. It didn't have to have happened.
But to be a doctor and know what is happening to you had to be terrifying. Because she knew.
It. And the only excuses that we've been able to see consistently when it comes to this kind of thing, the only excuse for putting in these roadblocks for people with uteruses, because you can only typically have one. No, there are
cases where people have had to.
Yeah, I forgot. I almost forgot about that. So uteruses, you know what? I'm going with that. I don't care. People with uteruses, from obtaining legitimate medical assistance, have been entirely religiously based. 201. And we know full well that this is not something that here in the United States the majority of the populace wants. And how do I know that? Again, back over to Brigid. Let's go ahead and talk with Brigid from the floor of the Capitol building, where the Secretary of States have tabulated all of the votes coming in from the public who've been voting on the latest measure regarding abortion rights. Take it away, Brigid.
Well, every place that has had these kind of amendments on the ballot have been overwhelmingly in favor of abortion. All of them.
Every damn time. Which prompted Mr. Santorum, Mr. Shit Talker himself, and there's a double in there somewhere. You put these things like marijuana and abortion on the ballot, these sexy things, and the young people come out to vote for them, and having everybody vote on these kinds of things is no way to operate a democracy, you dumb motherfucker, you said the stupid inside thing outside. The thing that hurts me about this is that we know full well that there is roughly a 30% collection of the population of this country that heard that, don't care. Just arbitrarily, just don't care. La la la, not even listening. People have no idea how much I just want to like clock some of these people with a clue by four every time I see some of these people being interviewed, and don't even want to be paying attention and stuff. There is a piece, and yes, I've been trying to read the chat going on simultaneously. Well, I know on YouTube it's over on that side, but if I don't put my arm far enough forward, I end up hitting the microphone, and really nobody needs that over there on the live chat. I've been track of you. The 70s got a point, and it's a well given point. Given the gerrymandering, that will be a major operation. Boy, howdy. But there are a number of states where the judge panels have basically come out and said, yeah, these districts, yeah, no, this is no, do it again, and do it right. And some of these groups are actually following through, and they're doing right, but there is a decided group that have decided that they're just going to submit their same one back to the judiciary and say, you know what? No, this is good enough. Because they can. Remember that whole opening that I had earlier about, what the hell is the point of having rules if nobody's allowed to get slapped for them? So let's kind of touch on that a second. That is arguably one of the most important pieces, I think, for the long-term success of voting rights and for personal liberties in this country. That gerrymandering congressional districts here in the United States is just beyond stupid. Absolutely ludicrously beyond stupid. And one of the most important ways of dealing with the stuff higher up at the federal level, especially, is to make that an important piece. Get rid of gerrymandering. Identify what it is and set up a new way of doing congressional districts that make far and away more sense. Why not just have the congressional districts be, I don't know, the individual counties? It seems like a pretty straightforward thing to me, you know? Last time I checked, I don't remember that there were any counties that were gerrymandered. I mean, you put 2 or 3 of them together, okay, you know what? Fine. Suffolk, Nassau, Queens. There you go. There's your Long Island contention. Queens isn't going to be happy about being lumped in with Nassau and Suffolk counties because, nobody wants to be associated with that Long Island group. But then again, you also got Brooklyn, and they're not going to want to be part of that either. So, you know what? Everybody's pissed off, and that's the way that it should be. If anybody hasn't looked at the county lines over there on the Long Island, New York City area, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I grew up out there. Nobody likes anybody else. But that's a piece. And You know, there's pieces. Mooncheeks is right. Get rid of the electoral college. You know, that is something that has been talked about. So again, we're just gonna keep scuttling from scuttling. Sure, yeah, I'm going with that. From topic to topic and just kind of bouncing from piece to piece. There and Brigid, I'm trying to remember if we had actually talked about this at one time. There is I forget what the term was for it, a consortium of states that are banding together to basically say, look, whoever wins the popular vote, they get our electors in the electoral college. None of this bullshit of trying to figure out, what it's supposed to be. It's just, yeah, that's the way it's going to be. To kind of take the electoral college out of the equation, so to speak. And if memory serves, I think it was like 13 states that were like had sort of have a gentleman's agreement to do it, but it's kind of a little bit more wait and see as to whether or not that's actually happening. Personally speaking, me, I would much rather just go with the popular vote and just be done with it myself.
Yep.
I mean, last I checked, isn't that much how everybody else does it? Pretty sure it's pretty much like that. Although the idea of doing ranked voting also sounds pretty appealing. Yeah, you got to do a little bit more computational stuff, but you know what? I'm still willing to. There's so many pieces that are going on. There seem to be relatively easy ways, relatively simple ways to solving these issues, societal issues, and yet I think the biggest problem is that there just is not enough fire under some of these people to go ahead and just start making the changes. There are a couple of them that are, whipping up the fire. Don't get me wrong. Um, Ms. Cortez, for one, holy balls. She's been one of those people that has just been fighting and fighting and fighting and yelling and telling everybody off and telling them what for. And, I'm happy for that. And sideline to that, um, it's on the bright side to go along with Congress and everything. It was so nice to see that I don't even know what word to use for it. That Congress critter that got expelled. Congratulations, you dumb, dumb personnel. Santos got himself booted out. Even his Republican allies in Congress, Senate, whatever the hell, doesn't matter. He was a Congress critter. Just went ahead and just said, yeah, no, he's not good enough. Because he literally stole money from his neighbors by basically skimming their payment cards. That's
I'm
pretty.
sure it didn't it didn't help that one of the people he scammed happened to be a member of Congress
Yeah,
and his mom.
yeah. But you know what? The fact that he went ahead and said, well, I know so much about what all you have all been doing, so you might want to consider that when you go ahead and vote as to. First off, you know what? You've got stuff that's called blackmail. That is called um another chargeable offense. I'm pretty sure trying to blackmail Congress, I mean, all he had to do was like breathe any one name and they could have locked in on him. But of course, he's too much a petulant child. That would be wrong. Yeah. Stephanie's got a good point. You need proportional representation. Vote for the party you favor. And by the way, OUR, favor. See, that's the way it's supposed to. And the results decide how many of each party get into Congress, Senate, and so forth, down to dog catcher. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, where I live out in the boonies, I know full well that my area is sadly a little bit more heavily Republican than Democrat. I have a tendency to vote Democrat far and away more often, but that's mostly because, well, imagine that. Actually, wait a minute. I've got a question that I've kind of wondered about, and I've never really asked about. Um, when I go to vote, I get a paper ballot that gets scanned in, but it doesn't destroy the ballot. So you know, if there is a paper trail necessary, a paper trail is there. If I have a list that has across the top all the different things that you're supposed to vote for, uh, president and vice president, Congress, Senate, dog catcher, local judge, whatever it is, all listed along the top. And along the side, they have the parties listed and the name of whoever it is that's being endorsed by that party. As an example, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as president, vice president would typically show up as being on the docket for president and vice president of the United States federal level under the Democratic Party. And please, people, I'm getting sick and tired of this. I don't want to have to keep reminding myself and all of you. It is called the Democratic Party, not the Democrat Party. All of you guys who keep doing it, you're doing it wrong. Those of you that are doing it and know that you're doing it wrong, fuck you in your face. Can you tell I'm just done with all this? But if they show up also under the Progressive Party, and I vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for president, vice president, but I use the Progressive Party dot, doesn't make a real difference because I'm voting for the persons, not necessarily the party. Does it actually take away from the actual numbers, quote unquote?
Has it ever been listed that way?
Yeah. Yeah, I get to
I
I get
haven't
to see
seen
that.
that.
Yeah, I get to see that every once in a while for me. I will see um, Democratic, Republican, conservative, progressive, working family. Oh God, there were like 3 or 4 other ones that were typically listed, and a lot of these folks will end up showing up under different groups. Working family, I think, will usually align more with conservative, which typically aligns with Republican. So I've always wondered.
I have never seen that.
I don't think I'm allowed to take a picture of my my thing. But
Ballot.
yeah, my
You're
ballot.
not.
But I'm pretty sure that the images for the ballots for each are always available, just so that see it. Stephanie's also pointed out in the UK, all the votes are on paper and carefully stored after the event. I forget for how long. I would expect probably, like most other legal documents, somewhere between 7 and 10. Um, no, actually, you know what? I would expect that it would probably be more like 2, because if there are irregularities, you need to have that you need to have that found before whatever the next election cycle. And after like 2 years, there's probably another election cycle, in which case you got other shit on your. That's just me. Again, legal advice podcast. You don't. Um, and the guy's also making reference to how representative government works over there in Canada. That you vote for the party. The party votes in whomever based off of that, and then the prime minister is selected by them going forward. It seems a little convoluted to us because it's most assuredly not the way that we do it over here, but Canada has a much better history, politically speaking. Not great, but still better, of representative um, representation. Thank you. Political representation. Not perfect by any stretch. Not great a lot of times, but at least damn sight better than what we've got. Because, is what it is over here. But I really kind of wonder about it. And maybe one of these days I'll actually remember to go looking it up, figuring it out. I'm trying to think of where else to, because there's like I said, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going. Oh, right, Brigid, I almost forgot to ask you because I'm pretty sure you know. Do you know what is happening March 4th of this upcoming year?
I do not. What is going on March 4th?
It's my birthday.
Oh,
It's also the day that Trump's trial starts.
oh, happy
God!
birthday.
It's going to be a really, really happy birthday for me. I'm very much looking forward to this because I want that sucker to just go down in flames.
I have to make sure I got plenty of popcorn on hand.
Oh God, just not too much popcorn. I mean, you're gonna need. All right, well, if you're gonna have popcorn, you got to
Well,
make sure.
Chex Mix is good too.
Well, no, that's fine. It's just that too much popcorn, not enough, liquid hydration. You're gonna need something to cleanse that all out afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just be careful about it. Sorry, folks. Biology. What are you gonna do? Tough. Um, I'm very, because every time there's a new thing where it's just, well, we don't want to recognize the authority of this court because bad fifis. And I love how the judges at this point have basically been, you know what, blow it out your ass. You're sitting in the seat and you're gonna be going through the trial and you don't like it. Oh well. You heard about that particular filing that was done, where they were
Yep.
trying to say that he we don't want to recognize the authority of this court because we're above the court, or whatever legalize they were trying to use on that. You remember, give or take, how they were trying to word it?
He's still trying to claim presidential immunity.
Yeah, the problem with that, um, I'm pretty sure I know what the problem with that is. Um, no, don't tell me. I know what it is. I know what it is. It's because he's not. Love it. I absolutely. Um, Stephanie's saying, it looks like that one might be delayed, but that would give a date for another to jump in. You know what? I'm hoping that you're wrong on this one because I would very much like that. Are we gonna have a viewing party? I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna go. You know what? I didn't even double check. Calendar. Open calendar. March, December, January
You're probably going to be working,
4th. Um,
but David Packman will probably have a viewing party.
that's gonna be on a Monday. Oh, that's gonna be on a. Yeah, I'm gonna be working. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay because then when I decide that I'm gonna go ahead and have lunch, I can sit down and I can open up BlueSky and I can look through the HCTV account and see what the hell's going on, which should be pretty easy. Actually, come to think of it, I don't have very many people that I'm following on the BlueSky HCTV account. I think one of them is Satan. No, one of them absolutely is Satan. S, the number 8, and he's so much fun to he's so much fun to watch.
I'm sure that the Legal AF team will have some good commentary.
Can't imagine why. Oh, right, because that's what they do. They're smart. They're smart guys. Um, Stephanie's pointing out that state charges uh, are not federal, so Trump would not be able to pardon himself if he became president. But see, there's also I mean, you're right, but we've also got a small problem in that, which would be who would be able to pardon a state level charge.
Well, in Georgia, the governor cannot pardon.
It's one of those times where, wow, the law actually works well. There is a problem, of course, that, the idea that there cannot be a pardon. Well, okay, well, no, wait a minute. Then in Georgia, can clemency be given?
I don't know.
Yeah, because those are two different things. Clemency and a pardon are two different pieces. A pardon is basically the government saying, you know what, we've wiped we've wiped out your oh crap, I'm gonna butcher how I'm gonna. A pardon releases a criminal from any further incarceration for a crime while while continuing to admit the guilty verdict was accurate. Oh wow, wait a minute. Because in my head, that's kind of the same way that clemency would be considered. Wait a minute. Is there even a functional difference between the two terms? Oh, um, hmm, I think I've just kind of screwed myself on this one.
Well, you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, legal advice podcast, that whole thing. God, that would be that's screwed up. Well, shit. All right, you know what? Is what it is. Oh no, wait. No, there is a difference. Okay, wait. I've got it a little bit on the weird side. Clemency would be saying that a prisoner who was convicted has served enough punishment to satisfy the state and is then released from incarceration, leaving the guilty verdict on their record. A pardon removes the guilty verdict, absolves them of any further incarceration, but in order to do that, they have to admit, the accused has to admit that yes, they did do whatever it was that they are accepting the pardon for. So the public knows they have to state that they know that they did whatever it was that they were in jail for, even though it's wiped from their record. Officially. Unofficially, we all know what you did. So, if I'm remembering the distinction correct. But again, how many times do I have to say it? Legal advice, podcast, the hell do I know? We'll work it from there. Be that as it may. I'm still very much looking forward to all these charges. Kind of going sideways with that one just a little bit more, and I'm not sure how much further we're going to end up with because I want to look forward to a couple pieces. There is an image meme going around at this point. Brigid, I think you've probably seen it, where it is the image of an iceberg as viewed from the side with the water line in it, and the top part of it says what we know, and underneath it that other 7/10, 9/10, whatever the difference is in how much ice is actually below the water for an iceberg. What what the hell was his name? The prosecutor,
Jack Smith.
Jack Smith. What Jack Smith knows, because didn't he come out and say, "Yeah, we've got the logs from the phones."
Yes, he did.
You want to explain a little bit about this one, because I think I'm going to be having a little bit of a hard time keeping a straight face right now.
Well, they have the data from Trump's phone, so wherever he was tweeting whatever he was tweeting, they know where he was. And they know who he contacted, who he sent DMs to, all that.
Yep. And when she says they know where he was, no, you guys might be like not understanding that nearly enough. They know where he was.
If he was pooping on the toilet at the time he was tweeting, they know it.
Because triangulation is such a wonderful thing. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be triangulation. It could be, I mean, come on, let's face it. It's Washington, D.C. The possibility of there being only 3 cell towers for reception in that area to be able to pick up that signal, to only triangulate. No, man, no. There's plenty of towers to figure out exactly where the hell this guy was in all 3 dimensions of space. And wow, look at that little piece. Brigid, do you remember hearing some people mentioning about the possibility of burner phones?
Yes.
You remember what was so incredibly special about that particular part?
No.
Because some people had suggested, oh, well, if they were burner phones, and there probably were, I wonder how many of them were logged into his Twitter account and where they were and who was operating one or more of them. You know, that's the kind of thing that would make a guy kind of sit up, take notice, and go, well, what was I doing that day? And what kind of a deal can I cut? I wonder how many people are basically shitting the bed, figure out what the hell happened. Because I think there's a very good possibility that there are a number of Secret Service agents whose phones were mysteriously wiped who may not have been entirely, completely and utterly, irrevocably wiped out of data. Don't get me wrong, government's really good at, keeping stuff secret a lot of times. But so many people really good at the job of finding lost data. It's kind of freaky. So I'm very much looking forward to that part too. When do you think we're going to hear anything more about it? Because the fact that DOJ has put like little drops of information every once in a while, that's not something that typically happens. They're usually very tight-lipped. So I'm kind of wondering, when do you think the next drop of information is going to come out?
Well, with all this Hunter Biden hoopla, it's probably going to be soon, because that's usually the time that they pop him out is when something's about to drop.
I wonder if any of those Congress critters are going to get implicated also, because of the whole who called whom and what were you talking about? Where?
Well, angry staffer says yes.
Because I can well imagine triangulating plus some of these phones that had been talked to in the congressional rotunda on January 6th. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to identify several of those phones that were under chairs and under desks and whatnot for a while. Funny enough, now I'm trying to remember where the hell Mike Pence was. The fact that he even admitted that he probably wasn't going to be there for the certification. What an absolute pill. I got other words for it, but I'm pretty sure that I've used up my collection of F's for like the foreseeable future right now. He had to tend to mama. I know it's supposed to be mother, but it just sounds creepier to mama. Still, I can't wait. I can't wait for people getting held accountable. That's gonna be nice. You know what? Yeah, let's hit that one really quickly because Stephanie was right. I love the way Hunter Biden's Hi. I do believe that the Crown Royal has actually had just a little bit of an impact on my reading ability. Either that or I'm just tired and I just go to sleep shortly. Stephanie said, I love the way Hunter Biden showed up to testify and refused to do it in private as he explained to every reporter who showed up. I believe that I speak on behalf of all of us, past and present, for HCTV. Well done, sir. Well done. Man, how often do you get to hear somebody calling out on somebody's bluff and saying, come at me, bro? That was great. Especially considering Jim Jordan was very much. I'm just going to go ahead and call him a coward. Because I don't think I'm overstating it there. I don't think I'm overstating it at all.
Talk about dodging subpoenas.
Yeah. We want Hunter Biden to come in here and answer the subpoena behind closed doors. Oh, yeah, I'll answer your subpoena on the simple chain that we put it out there in public. What are you afraid of there, Jimmy?
I'm still waiting on them to go after Jim Jordan for not showing up for his subpoena.
Yeah, really. How amazing though would it be to try to rattle Jim Jordan if Hunter were to show up in a wrestling singlet just to screw with him? That would probably be wrong on so many levels, but you know what? That's the kind of mood I'm in right now. Any way of pissing off and trolling people. But that's just we're getting pretty close to finalizing over here. And I say that from the standpoint of, wow, I wasn't expecting it to even go this long. And I had to work. So what have you got that you want to go ahead and drop in?
I don't have anything else really.
No, that's fine. Then I will drop one last over here. And I'm going to level it at one person in particular because I'm really sick and tired of people saying, see, there is still integrity in the Republican Party, because no, there isn't. I can't goddamn believe that people want to go ahead and say, and I will admit, I wish I could say it. I wish I could say it myself, but I can't. That there is still enough integrity in the GOP because of Liz Cheney. Hearing that this woman held on to information so that she could write a book about it, and that she's not nearly the only one. No, there is a certain point where you have to look at everything and just go, you know what? Country before everything else. And if you people can't do that, then I'm sorry. Or more appropriately, I'm not. Made your bed, you need to sleep in it. And she's one of those people that she was all happy and willing to go ahead and just sign on to everything Trump until it was no longer advantageous. So, you know what, Liz? You may have been trying really here at the end, but it's far and away too little too late. You can go away. And all the rest of you Republican suck-ups who are smelling your own farts, shoving your own heads up your own asses, and still trailing onto those coattails. And I'm going to include Chris Christie on that one. Screw you. Just Go away. Go into go hang out in a burning dumpster fire for all the good that it's going to do anybody. So I'll give you that one. You got anything that you want on her? Because I know that we've gone ahead and we've wrangled on her a couple of times in the relatively recent past.
Well, I guess she can be collectively part of the big fuck you for this week, along with every single Republican member of the House that voted for this stupid ass impeachment inquiry. Not a single one voted no. Even saying that they've got nothing.
Yep, that was the only question I was going to have for you. It makes no sense. It literally does not make any sense. Oh, yeah, right. Sideways to that, do we actually have a Speaker of the House?
Mike Johnson's supposed to be Speaker of the House.
Yeah, it's just that I don't know where. I don't know. I don't trust him, but then again, that's not exactly entirely surprising. Yeah, all these people. We've had high hopes for where this country should have been. In the last 50 years, we've seen it just cruel. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the whole big snapback and the realm of rationality to take over and education to burn all the stuff off. I can't wait for that. I want to live long enough. I mean, it's entirely possible. I could live, up to my 100. Probably not very likely, but I mean, I can try. um, Moon Cheeks has also said Canada should invade and rekindle their fire.
As long as they bring poutine, go for it.
There's something to be said for that. There's something to be said for that. I mean, I don't know if it quite qualifies. Does Tim Hortons qualify as like national sovereignty states? Kind of the way that every consulate and embassy is like sovereign land. Does Tim Hortons qualify as Canadian soil? I wonder. I really wonder. To get airdropped on top of the roof and bring a double with him. Thinking. Am I immortal? Shu is immortal. You know what? I'm gonna make that part of my closing. Yeah, because we're getting about top of the hour. We gotta wrap this up anyway. Did you have anything last after that? Because I mean, yeah, we could basically just big old general fu to the whole process which obviously we should. But was there anything else on the official side at this point, or do you want to just
No,
wrap it?
That's it.
Okay. Burger King? No. Oh, wait. Mooncheeks is saying Burger King owns it now. The it being Tim Hortons. No, it's a venture capital company that owns them both, if memory serves correct. which is arguably worse. Because venture capital companies over here on this side of the border is the reason why we no longer have Toys R Us. But Canada does. That would be nice. Let me finish with this. What Mooncheek said over here. It was immortal. Yeah. Yeah, I do believe that a piece of me is. And before anybody goes ahead and starts going, well, that's arrogant. Yeah. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. But I originally went to college to be a music performer. Didn't quite happen. I switched to try to be a music educator. That didn't happen. But a part of me still has always wanted to be a bit of an educator. Educators are never forgotten. Their names might get muddled out and not necessarily be remembered all the time. I mean, I have no illusions that I'm going to be put up there on the staples along with Pythagoras or Confucius. A piece of me will be immortal. And part of that is the drive to keep learning. And if I have helped instill that in others in some way or other over these years, then a piece of me truly is immortal. Because it will get handed down. It will be taught. It will continue to be out there. Even if it becomes just like a low-level buzz, if you will. Background static. Which I know, my microphone is just the way that it is. I'm sorry. I don't have to live forever, be immortal. Same with you. Am I absolutely sure that that's how it's going to be for me? Hell no. Matter of fact, I would be surprised if I'm remembered 50 years after my passing. But it won't matter if I'm remembered or not. What's important is doing well, helping others, and allowing the knowledge of that to propagate out. Do I want to live forever? I will be 100% honest. There was a night I knew full well. I knew I could have allowed myself to simply die. I know it. Absolutely do. But I've still got a little bit more. And I'm not going to let that happen. So, what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to going forward in next year. I'm looking forward to talking, to learning more, to inspire, and to make run up through November and absolutely do my damnedest to inspire other people to keep doing the right thing and to vote MFers out en masse because they've and all these times when I say, no, me, Vane, no, not at all. Yeah, it's a line of bullshit. I've got a streak of vanity up my back. But what are you gonna do? It's me. I'm the cute one. I can get away with it. It's my story. I'm sticking. We are going to go ahead, call it a night, and as a matter of fact, we're going to call it a year because, as I said at the top of the show, this is the last show for 2023. And I think it would be wrong of us to finish off the show without at least saying once more, and I know that Bridge will agree with me on this one, people, wear your fucking masks. God damn it. Flus are going around. RSVs are going around. COVID is still going around. It's not done. It's not gone. Just seriously, people, protect yourself, protect everybody the hell else. It's a simple enough thing. In public, in an enclosed area, just frickin' do it. I still wear mine when I go into if I go into a shop. I'm not when I'm outside because I don't need it when I'm outside, but inside, yeah. And if anybody's got a problem with that, fine, don't do it. But me, doing it. And I'm pretty sure, Bridget, I'm pretty sure that you are too.
Just don't go out.
Or, you
If I
know,
have to
there's,
go out, then I wear a mask.
uh, or otherwise, there is that option. That's fair. Anyway, thank you all for being with us. We hope that you have found something worthwhile in our perspectives and something to think about for the couple of weeks ahead. Because we're not coming back until January. I'll make sure that everybody's up to date as far as to what's going on. Just thank you. Live chat, folks. Thank you over there. Grandly appreciate all that you guys do for us because you keep us honest, keep us thinking, and sure as shit, you keep pissing me off. So, well done. Just well done. And yeah, I say that because I don't remember. Was it this year? It was last year. The last time that we had Nephilim Free show up, I think. It's been a while. I wonder if he's okay. Strike that. I don't really give two shits. On the chat, Mooncheeks, Phyllis, Stephanie, thank you guys. Seriously, thank you. From the past, of course, Seeker. Don't know where you are. Take care of yourself too. Been a while. And oh, you know what? Ooh. Chrome, go away. Got a thing that keeps popping up. Who was it? Randy. Who was? Randy, you keep chiming in on the shows after the fact. And it would be wrong of me not to at least give you a call out. Say thank you. Thank you for being interested and listening. And just take care of yourself, huh? You appreciate it. Brigid, you know what? I'm going to give you the double tap ability. Go ahead. What, who, where should get one more big ol' for the year FU that really just, I don't know how to word it better than, there's got to be one that's just left where you're just like, you know what I missed.
I haven't done Mike Pence in a while, so I'm going to go with him. Just because.
I can't say there's anything wrong with that other than I haven't seen or heard hide nor hair of him in a little bit. know he's out there, but is he
I
hiding?
still remember all the shit that he did when he was my governor, so he can go fuck himself.
No, I got you. I got you. But I'm just thinking in terms of, is does it feel like he's been in hiding for a little bit recently?
He's not been very visible, that's for sure.
Can't imagine why. He's probably afraid some people are going to go ahead and find his ass and finally string him up. Oh, I'm sorry. It was all just metaphor that day. That's what it was. It was all just metaphor over there at the rotunda. Bunch of pain. Anyway, um, Moon Cheeks is blowing me a kiss and makes sure that Brigid gets chocolate oranges in her stockings. Well, there you go, hon. You got that to look for.
Oh,
Perfectly reasonable. All the upset aside for a second, though. Seriously, Brigid, thank you, many times over. Thank you. I would get very bored were it not for you in on some weeks. So just thank you for being able to put up all this stuff.
well, you're welcome.
For the rest of the current and past HCTV folks, the crap crew, thank you guys, one and all. You are never far from my thoughts, all of you, and it's really wonderful to know that you guys have helped out. Even if you're not current members, you've helped out. Thank you. All of the past guest hosts, also, you guys have been wonderful to us. Appreciate you. Sorry we can't have more guys on, but it's one of those things that's really hard for me to do and coordinate. So those of you that have done, thank you. And the two that I think we have to specifically call out are, first off, the folks that can't be with us anymore. Beth and Heretic Woman, thank you guys so very much. I know there's no way that you guys are gonna hear anymore. I know that might sound, kind of defeating, but by all rights, it is what it is. But if there is some way that you guys still have any way of checking in, thank you, Beth, for thank you for allowing us to meet you down there at Reason Con. Appreciate that. And Heretic Woman, fuck all the fuck. Good people. Thanks. And item last. And it's not what you're going to think, because yes, I could very easily just, thank my wife so much, because, I mean, I could. I will anyway, because it's the end of the show. That's the way it works. Brigid and I absolutely have to make one final thank you. Because were it not for Cash Gerstein, this show would not exist. Cash hasn't been doing Atheist on Air for a long time now, unfortunately. There's reasons, but I do get the chance to catch up on him every. Cash, thank you. Just thank you. Kicked my ass, and he told me what for, and were it not for that, we wouldn't still. In the meantime, we will be seeing you. Well, come January, we'll give you updates as to how the dispensation is all going with everything. I don't know if I'm care. It's late. If you'd like to be in touch with us, though, plenty of spots to get us. Holy Crap the Vlogcast or Holy Crap TV in various different locations. So Twitter, Facebook, BlueSky. Yeah, I know I've still got an account over on Twitter. It's useful other than just putting out the word for the folks that are still there. But, somebody's got to do it. If you take a swing over to the website, holycrapthevlogcast.com, you can be in touch with us. I'm pretty sure I've still got the phone line open. I don't remember if I renewed it in time. I'm pretty sure. That would be 859-HCTV 554, 859-4288-554. Just thank you. Everybody, all of you out there, whether you're part of his family actively or not, just thank you. We'll be here for you. We'll do our best. Join us, if nothing else, over on Discord. And if you need somebody, we'll be here to listen. We'll do our best to help. So, till sometime in January, whenever the hell that's going to be, as always, I wish you all peace I no longer have. Wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you well. It is over 18 years, over 18 and a half years, my wife's died. We were married for 12. I think it is fair to say that, like I keep saying, well, I am still in love. Matane Fuji. I love you. Dream of me. Till the next time we're together, everyone, as always, good night.